right, dog. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm gonna say first, man. I'm glad that I got to run into you, man. Down there, we can kind of spread out. You down in Atlanta, I'm up here. I'm up here in Little Delaware, man.
I just left Delaware. I was in Dover for at the Air Force Base. So I did mortuary there at the Air Force Base. So I just left literally last week.
Yeah, I've been telling myself, I'm like, I've been to Atlanta one time in my life. That was I'm gonna say I was 19. I was 19, so yeah, that was. I feel I'm 37 now, so I feel like that was a little while ago. So
yeah, come back, man.
I know, man. That's like the Mecca, man, down there, man.
Yeah, it's Black Mecca. Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
It is. Yeah.
It's growth. Like you see, like I didn't start seeing Black people win until I moved to Atlanta from Charleston to Atlanta, and once that happened, man, my whole life perspective changed. A different lens.
Yeah.
And here in Charleston, you know what I'm saying? When I was living in Charleston, obviously it's like, different cultures went in except ours.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Black people at? You know what I'm saying? That moved to Atlanta. Okay, who's driving a Porsche? You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. Or who got the Lambo? You know what I'm saying?
And it's mostly us down there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it makes you feel like you can do it. You know what I mean? Because like we was texting the other day, growing up, that's like nothing that you seen growing up, man. I mean, in the late 80s, early 90s, it was I hate to say it, but that was the crack epidemic. Right. You know what I mean? So everything around that you seen was rough. It was just us down bad and all. You know what I mean? And then the media don't help it either. Everything that they portray on TV.
But it was us versus us to the same. It was us versus us, but also us versus them.
Yeah.
They had to sell it, so they put in a specific people hands in our culture, man, and they let them distribute it. Then once they got caught distributing, they sent them to jail.
Yeah, that's what Yep.
It's crazy.
It's something when they've taught us their culture.
Right.
So the only thing that we do is mimic what they've shown. But then they turn the lens on us and say that you're a criminal. You see what I'm saying? It's weird. Like you bring, like you said, you put the drugs and stuff in the hands, because we can't. Who we know to get over there across the borders and all that stuff to get all these drugs? So so you bring it over here and you drop it down in here.
Right.
It's only used for us to use it. You know what I'm saying? But if you sell it, nah, that's for them. So if you use it, like you said, you're going to jail.
You can't make money if they ain't getting a profit from it. It's like, all right, marijuana.
Come on, talk about it, man. Cause I've been needing to tell people about this, man.
Way back, first of all, God put that on the earth for us. Medicinal uses, right? So they was seeing that our culture was prospering from private settlement from it, and there was a lot of wealth being brought in our community. So with that, that means, oh man, it's a step up on other cultures. They don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? What can we do? Oh, you know what? This will make this illegal. So let's put everybody in jail for more than 10 years for our items.
Yeah, that's what
years later, all right, now we gotta they're profiting from it, but we need our cut too now. So let's make it legal, and we'll find a way how to tax it too as well, so we can get a bigger profit than what they was making.
Yep.
And plus, discreet way is not going to be as pricey anymore. The price will go down. They know that.
No. And I don't think people realize how small a street drug dealer is. You see what I'm saying? Because in the bigger picture, the street drug dealer, they making little bitty money, man. It's the biggest recreational drug out here. You know what I mean? And like you said, before it was illegal. So all of a sudden, what made it legal all of a sudden? You see what I'm saying? It's the same exact, but when you look at it too, the marijuana plant is a healthy plant. You know what I mean? It's a very healthy plant, but when you start to burn it, now you're dealing with a whole bunch of different other aspects of it. You know what I mean? And now it's medical marijuana. Who knows? Who knows what they putting in that stuff? You see what I'm saying? That's some crazy stuff, man.
Medicinal uses.
I know. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it is. Now you were saying you wanted us to kind of talk about and break down, what it's like growing up Black.
Right.
So I guess we'll go back and forth, but I want to start with you, and give your take on it, or your story, I should say.
Grown up Black, my culture. All right, so you know about the Gullah Geechee culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from Johns Island, South Carolina, so I'm Gullah Geechee.
Okay. Yep.
All the lingo and all that, you break it down, which is, the history of it. Gullah came from when slaves first got to Charleston.
Yep.
It came from as a language to talk in front of the slave owners, but to a point where they can't understand. So you communicate like a message to your counterpart about this person I didn't understand. Like, it's hard to say when someone's, like if you know.
I get you. Yeah.
Actually, you say, speaking Gullah language, it was like not natural, but like that's where I'm from originally. And here in Charleston, it's very black and white.
Yeah.
They go straight up like, listen, you're Black, I'm white, and in a way. So that, and the concept shows everywhere, even through the education system. So growing up, the first thing in history class when I first got to middle school was when you grew up in America, when you first got here, you were slaves. Very first thing in history that we learned, how Black people were slaves. So now mentally, the first thing you learn about yourself is, I was a slave. My ancestors were. So now you're getting trained through that pipeline of education of just being a slave and always working for somebody, being an employee, not having no type of ownership over yourself. And that trickles out. So now you're leaving school, you're in the outside world, right? You're left school. So you walk into the bus, get off the bus, and you just see like different cultures, like, damn, they're better than me. Just naturally because of what we learned. Then that just trickles out some more through like your parents and their mindset, because they taught older history, same history, but probably more discreet and direct. So growing up Black, that's part one. Let's call that part one.
I know. Yeah.
Call that part one. Or that's when we trying to figure out who we are as people. I feel like trying to find out, understand who Black people are. I feel like that's where it starts. So what you think the starting ground starts with that. Like, know who you are, growing up black, knowing that you're black in America, and what you think about those.
It's funny because kind of going back to what you just said to kind of pull off of that. It's funny because Delaware, growing up in Delaware is probably one of the most racist states. You know what I mean? Because it's a small city, but when you start to learn about the history of Delaware and then the historic places that they're not going to tear down because it's history. There's a part up here in Newcastle. It's called Battery Park, and it's a historic part of Delaware. It's right off the water. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of historic buildings down there. And when you get to learning the history of Delaware, those were slave houses. You know what I mean? And right off the water is a big dock. So where the boat docks, that's where they drop the slaves off at. You know what I mean? And most of the time in the summertime, there's a boat that goes by. You know, it comes through and the bridges go up and everything. And it's kind of a, you know, like a boat. A lot of people go to visit and stuff like that. But it's a slave boat. You know what I mean? And it's like when you sit back and you look at stuff like that, it's like you said, the mental part about it. If you don't understand your history and start learning about some stuff, you'll just go right along with that stuff, and then you get trapped. You get trapped in that cycle. You know what I mean? Of not knowing what's going on, and it's already hard enough as a black person. It's when black people say it's hard. You know, it's hard. Only we understand that kind of stuff, the actual feeling of it. But to other people, it's like we complain.
Right.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah. No, you have to do it, which is, I believe it, but still there's other obstacles. There's more obstacles we gotta climb than others. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, it is. It's a as I've got older and I've been able to sit back and actually look and watch some things, we as a people, we got a long way to go, because it's a lot of mental damage, you know, as well as emotional damage that we've never tapped into, because we don't know. We just think that's just what it is. That's just the damage of what it is, and we think in our mind that this is just how life is supposed to be. And like you said, when you moved down to Atlanta, it changed the whole lens of
it did.
how you saw yourself and then our people.
And like, speaking of our Delaware, right? Dover. I used to pick up my wife from the airport, and to get to the airport, you gotta go through it's like small town Dover. Then you go down. It's like I'm just go towards Philly or something.
Yep.
And there's the Underground Railroad that starts right there, and it says,
"Yeah,
you are on the Underground Railroad." To me, I was like, you know what I'm saying? That's okay. This is a nice historic moment, right? Then going down the Underground Railroad, just make a left. You make a left until there's another road that's covered by trees, and on the right of the tree is a giant fucking slave house. Historic, that's still operating as a place where people can stay. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy. I didn't thought about it. So my wife was driving, and she's like, at night she's scared to drive around at night. She feel like spirits or something. It just feels weird. It's when she hits the road. I did not know. I thought Dover was like the most like blackest state until I didn't know, because that's what they told us when we got to the Air Force Base there. Like, oh, Dover is a great state, blah, blah. They broke it down to us. Now I start learning history. It's like,
And it's funny that you said about the Underground Railroad, because in Wilmington, I work in Wilmington, and I've been working in Wilmington probably almost 12 years. And, you know, I riding around the city and stuff, and you know, seeing different places. I mean, like deep in the heart of the city, or people call the hood, it's some of those houses, even talking to some people who lived in some of them houses. So a lady told me, she said, my house, she said, when I bought the house, her house kind of lives on it's like a slant. Right. And she said, when you go down in the basement, she said, there's a door, but if you open the door, there's a small like tunnel down there. And she said, this is, yeah. And she said, she said, when she started doing research on the house, that's where Harriet Tubman and a lot of them used to travel to get to where they was going. And like I was saying, off of the boat in Newcastle, you know, you get them slaves and stuff, they building them tunnels and all that kind of stuff to go through there. And she said you can feel the energy. You can feel that energy. And then spiritual energy that's something totally different. So when all that stuff is going on in the inner cities.
Right.
So how do you feel, like, what do you think that cloud is over people who don't understand what's going on? They just think that's just what it is, but that spiritual energy
is all there.
Yeah.
So in Charleston, right? We got the Market Street. If you ever come to Charleston, it's downtown Charleston. We have actually Market Street. Market Street is actually every African American history museum that you go to, or every museum. There's a history up everywhere, and you see the slave with the chain on and all that, standing on top of the blocks, getting ready to be sold. So it's literally 15 minutes away from like this location where I'm at, some in Charleston for the weekend, but that's still around. So every Saturday, people still sell stuff in Market Street, and tourists still visit Market Street because there's still like a hot camaraderie. People actually like sell stuff like flea market stuff, but they don't know the history.
Yeah.
This really, people was sold a long script, and people sold right there. And when you walk downtown Charleston, underneath the buildings or at the bottom of the buildings, it's these little cages that people, the bars on it, that people, you know, when slaves are being held, when they got the boat, they go inside these little jails underneath the houses to get ready to be sold, and that's still around. So with the little box where people can breathe, it's still there. And on Johns Island, where I'm from, if you look it up, it's called the Angel Oak tree. The Angel Oak tree is the largest tree on the East Coast, living tree on the East Coast. And this tree spreads out, the roots spreads out all like, I'll say about half a mile or so. And the limbs is huge and big, but this was one of the main trees for you to hang people. People visit it because, it's just a big tree, historic, it's been here for a while, not knowing the real deep history of and used for. So talking about spirits. Johns Island is very, very indebted with spirits. So on my road, I remember I was little, I know I wasn't crazy, and on the road it's very dark. You gotta walk down the dirt road to get to the house. So as kids, you're just walking down a dirt road. So I noticed when I'm walking down a dirt road, there's a tall shadow in front, right? And after a while, after you start walking in the dark a while, your eyes starting to adjust to your night vision. Mm-hmm. And I'm on the road, leaving my friend's house, and I see a tall black figure with a straw hat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking like I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk, then look back. It's like kind of like zoom, almost like a smoke, like like it's like a fog or something. Just went through just like that, real fast. You hear the leaves, you hear, and that's it. It's just gone. So I'm thinking like, oh man, let me just act like that was a deer. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't trip yourself out, right?
Myself out. But in reality, that's what I seen. And years later, it was a Halloween night, and me and my best friends got to walk to the head of the road to catch the bus. So same thing, Halloween morning, early morning, and was walking, seen the same exact figure years later. Tall dude with almost like the hat, the straw hat, and stands, and the brim is big. This dude was tall, all black, and I look, and this time was walking like slowly. Then I left again. I look at my best friend, hey man, I'm not sure if I'm just seeing things.
Yeah.
Period. Then my mom, years later, my mom explained to me what spirits were, and are you, and do you pray to your ancestors? So I didn't understand what she was meaning back then, but now I do. She said part of spirits that's walk around, either they're lost, they're helping somebody that's still around, or they're just helping people that's here, our culture. And that's when I learned, okay, I can't be afraid of it no more. It's probably just I'm not sure, a guidance or I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, yep.
But I know Black spirit.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just talking to my cousin last night on the phone about spirits, and we were talking about kind of something similar. My grandmother, she we all grew up in her house. She had a daycare. Right. So all my cousins and my brothers and everybody, we all grew up in that daycare coming up. But as we got older, you start, it's funny, as kids, as you get older, you can go to a different room in the house, you know what I mean? And you can go, you can go upstairs, you can hang out with grandpa and all that kind of stuff. But when we went upstairs, she had 3 floors. It was, when you got to the second floor, my grandma's room, but then there was a side room where my grandpa's sister was, and when she passed, there was always a weird feeling walking past that room.
Like it's cold.
Yeah, so I was telling my cousin, one day, she had already passed, but one day I went upstairs and I'm like, I'm going to use the bathroom, but it was dark outside. I want to say probably around this time, around Christmas time, and we would always go to my grandma's house, so it was dark, so I go upstairs to go use the bathroom. And when I got upstairs, I went to cut the corner to go down the hallway, and there was like a silhouette figure in the hallway. So it was like it immediately, it immediately made me stop, because I'm like, what the hell is that?
Right.
So I'm standing there and I'm like, my grandma's room was a little further down, so it was like a long hallway to get to her room. Just took off running down into her room. But then when it got to her room, it was like kind of looking halfway out from the room, but it kind of looked like my Aunt Thelma. I don't know, because I went back. I went back downstairs. I wasn't going to stay up there. Yeah, so I was like, I'm not I'm not going to do that. But then it's funny because years later, my cousins and my aunts and even my mom was like, you can kind of feel, you could feel something up there. You know what I mean? It was like, it was weird. I ain't like it. I ain't,
It's different, but you know, like yeah, because you know people they'll come to you in your dreams, especially if you pray for. That's what I noticed, right? As you know, as Black people, we're very powerful in our prayers, and most of the time our prayers come true. That's just, you know, words are powerful. And say if you pray that you want to see a certain somebody again, it's gonna happen. It's weird, but it always happens. So sometimes, like, say, like, dang, I miss my granny. I wish I can see her tonight in my dream. And I just pray for, you know, I just want some, just ask your question, want some answers. Then I remember I did like a deep prayer. And then it was a dream that she's coming down the den that I was like, in the dream, like, all right, so in the dream, this is how I was. I'm gonna take the picture. I went downstairs, and the den is like that we have. At the library was books just flying around in circles and shit. So in dreams, like, dang, I need this to stop, right? Then come downstairs is my grandma and her robe, her nightgown that she always wore before she goes to sleep. And she looked at me, and the books and all was flying around, and she looked at me and smiled, and everything stopped, calm, like peaceful. And so that was freaky to me. It was too real.
I know, that's it. Yeah.
But you know, you asked for it.
I know.
So that's the only thing. So, how you think how we are spiritually is different from others in our culture?
I think that we're in tuned to a lot spiritually, because like you said, we're very, very heavy into prayer. So we're very in tune to a lot, and to a lot of other cultures it may come off as weird, you know what I mean, or it's kind of spooky, but everybody is a spirit. You know what I mean? You're just in an earth suit. You know what I mean? But you're dealing with people through spirits. So I think that we are spiritually, that we are extremely powerful people, but I don't think a lot of us understand our worth spiritually. Going back to, like I was saying, we're so broken mentally and emotionally that we don't understand truthfully who we are. Because think about all the distractions that we have now. You know, years and years and years ago, to figure out where you had to go, all you had to do was look up at the stars and look up at, you know,
the drinking gore.
Yeah.
Big Dipper.
There you go, to find out where you was going. But it's so much distractions with everything now. We don't know where the hell we going. We don't know nothing. We don't know what to look to. We don't know who to ask. And you're just completely lost in who you are.
Right.
So what do you think? I'm gonna throw that question back at you. What do you?
Okay, so all right. So I think spiritually, or knowing who we are, is understanding. First, finding somebody who knows exactly who they are, that looks like us. Yeah. How it's almost like, you know. Show me. My favorite quote to use is "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." Right. So, shit. Sorry, my bad. Goddamn. Hold on. All right. So, but in that aspect, right? there's people like what's this Dickerson? What's this guy? The guy who passed away. He was a Breakfast Club older gentleman he had a long gray beard with the gray afro.
Oh, Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory.
Yep.
A gentleman like that who has a lot of wisdom and understands exactly who he is as a Black person, right? I feel like people just need some guidance rather than winging it in life. Yeah. Of some sort of map, blueprint, like Jay-Z got a blueprint. Helps you be successful too. So you follow like someone like Dick Gregory and just live a certain lifestyle, or find a person that you understand who you are as a culture, who Black people spiritually. Because most of us not going back to Africa in our lifetime.
Right.
So I feel like be a key to know exactly who we are, but find someone who's been to Africa and learn the lingo and who know how to walk the roads of life. And I feel like that's how it is. Because me, I have a like there's God and there's Jesus, right? Me, I personally don't believe in the Jesus aspect, the story of it, but I believe in God. So I feel like in Africa, I don't feel like they worship Jesus. So, and I feel like people, in Christianity, growing up Black in a church, that's why you raised like, white Jesus, that, blah, blah. You just believe this and stuff like that. But I feel like the same people who still worship them in the church are still struggling. And the people who find themselves in a different spirituality with themselves, their ancestors and God, and pick for everything, they're flourishing spiritually, physically, mentally, and helping the world, become a better place and still giving back. So, and I like my many friends that I know and hang around, they pray to them. They pray to God and their ancestors, like, because they believe in people as well. And they're flourishing because their whole mindset change in a way. Their belief system change, like the law of attraction, stuff like that, universal law of attraction. So I'm still working out parts. Some people like, during prayers and Jesus.
Yeah.
I was like, and God.
It's funny. I'm smiling that you said that because me and my cousin, we're about to do a podcast episode at the end of the month in January on salvation, and we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff that you're talking about now. And I know that it's going to be very controversial.
Very.
Because we're so taught in a religion of Christianity a certain thing. But when you're able to, that's why the Bible says to know me for yourself, figure out who I am for yourself. Because when you read the Bible and they asked Jesus what religion, he said, I don't claim none of these religions. All these religions is man-made. He said these religions is man-made. I'm just following my Father. So I know this episode is going to be real controversial, and just what you were just saying, it's going to be, you're there. You know what I mean? It's right. You're mentally there, and like you said, when you figure that stuff out, you feel different. I mean, you really, it's almost like we were talking about, you're free. You feel free.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's not as much bondage on you. You know what I mean? Because think about this in Christianity, when you're going through something, you know, or when you're going through something, the first thing Christians say is, God know my heart.
Mm-hmm.
God know my heart. He know I'm trying. But it's like you making an excuse. You making an excuse for you just want to live in your filth. That's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Just by saying, "Oh, God know my heart. God know I'm trying." Well, it's spiritually, going back to what you said, and you know how we are spiritually. We don't. That's what I was saying. We don't understand who we are fully spiritually because of so much damage, and we need to get away from all the. I don't know how. I know what I'm trying to say in my head, but it's not coming out the right way. I hope you get what I'm trying to say, though.
I can understand what you're saying. It's like we gotta relearn. So I forgot a poet. He wrote the book Unlearn, where he brought about how you should unlearn certain things that you've been taught through by the system, and certain like a different element of yourself and about yourself. And this whole book is like he wrote his book in his late 20s because he realized everything he learned was bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, like the way to make money, you should go to work 9 to 5 rest of your life, and only earn 40% of what you only get 60% of what you make, because you know they take 40% taxes. So imagine just working for on 60% of your likely earninghood. Just think about it in that aspect. And like
that's crazy.
And like school, you're gonna learn this math problems because you know this employer will need you one day to learn how, you know, rather than teach people how to be ownership, you know, and this black community. All right, ownership. So what you think? Why you think that would be key to a leveling up in this game of life and our culture?
Ownership. I think it's key because we've never owned anything in our life. Now, if you go back to the way school and how the systematic schooling is set up, think about our culture. Most of us have grew up in public school.
Right.
And in public school, you're taught a trade. You know what I mean? You're taught a trade so when you get out into the real world, you got to work. You know what I mean? But in private school, they teach you they teach you about business. They teach you about going into business for yourself. So when they get out into the world, they're going as business owners, and us are going to work for them. That's just how it's just been systematic the whole time. So I think it is key for us to own and go into and learn business and go into business for ourselves and learn about land. America is a big for sale sign, and we've never learned about owning anything. We've came off the ship, and it's just been, we work, and they work us, and they work us, and they work us, and they sit up there and they watch us work.
And you think that's been engraved, you know, from our ancestors? That's all they know how to do is just work. Until now, you need to work so you can provide for the family. You think that's been engraved to us as a people? Been passed down, like the workers' mentality?
Yeah, I do. I think And again, like you said about the book, to unlearn, we have to unlearn that stuff.
Right.
We have to unlearn that stuff because that's why when a lot of people, when they wake up and they go to work, they don't have that fulfillment, because this is not what you've been born to do. It's not what you've been born to do. You've been given something from God, on purpose to go out there and do it, and you're being hindered from it. That's why there's no true joy in anything that you're doing. Now, again, that was a good question, so I'm gonna throw it back at you.
All right, so ownership changed for me when I moved to Atlanta. It's just something about Atlanta just changes your lanes, like I said. And so my wife, she's a boxer trainer down in Atlanta, so she used to work as a personal boxer trainer. And when I was go to these her classes, only people that was inside there were high class individuals in their level and their skills, or people who's grinding to be who they are. And most of them was black. So me, as a natural talker and a natural conversational person, hey man, how you doing today? I'm in there put my gloves on.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you do for a living? Oh man, I own real estate. Oh shit, okay. Oh cool, real estate. Yeah, man. It ain't my passion, but I'm gonna own reil estate so I can buy my hot dog factory. And the same guy bought his own hot dog factory. He owns hot dog factory. And what's the next person? Dang, okay. Next person, what you do? Oh man, I'm an actor, man. On my own media company. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes on and on, like, people applying their talents with their passion to create their own ownership, as no one else can do it but them. So they created, like Tyler Perry said, people was begging for a seat at the table. Me, mine's.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And after a while, my circle of friends, my close friends, my best friends, one of the guys, he owns Smoke and Mirrors shop in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm tired of working this goddamn job, but I'm gonna use this job as leverage to invest into my own company. He loves CBD, you know what I'm saying? And you feel like it helps people out, but also he's a natural business owner. He don't like asking for time off and shit like that. He like to just go, because it's a hard feeling. Me, I own my media company, Artistic Map Productions, and with I'm building a business because growing up with single mom and being raised by your grandma and your mom, and my dad wasn't around, I was like, man, you know what? I don't want to be the father that my kids ask me to come to the game on Saturday, and I'm like, oh, sorry, man, I can't take off.
Yeah.
That to me will hurt, because that support that they want you to be there is different. It's just a different feeling. Exactly what I feel. So me, for ownership is freedom. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's ultimate freedom. Even if you're making $30,000 a year starting off, or making $20,000, you still, budget your money. You still live right. And $200,000 you live pretty good, but that freedom, knowing that you can do it yourself without nobody else help, and not worrying about taking time off so you can visit, spend time with your wife, your kids, your family. Like, it's ultimate freedom, just having your time back. And as a culture, I definitely understand when people I'm going to Mexico, man, for a week. Can you come? Nah, man, I gotta work, man.
Yeah.
I got no more PTO.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And but to you, I say, dang. Then you start realizing people, I feel like that's when people start buying their friends, because they're real can't even take off. So, and that creates a lot of friction. It creates a whole thing, man. So that's I was like, my circle of friends, if one winning, we're all gonna win together. I'm gonna help you get yours too, just as well. As we all can take that vacation together. We all can spend that time together. Hey, oh man, I'm chilling out, man. I'm just gonna do this small little project here for our operation, and I'm done. Okay, cool. Let's go shopping. Let's go on a road trip. It's this freedom part of ownership and like man, I just work at a warehouse job, right? and these warehouse jobs,
them things is real, man. Them things is.
I had a 3 p.m. to whenever I get done shift. Whenever you get done, you get 7 o'clock in the morning, which
I know.
And the mentality there, man, with the guys there, some people are like, oh man, I love it, man. And I'm like, you love it because you make a lot of hours, or you love it because you have a job, or why do you love this shit? Like me, I can't understand. And like me, I'm thinking, man, like the hours that I'm working here, I could be investing to myself or something else. And during time period, I was too tired to even do a podcast episode.
Yeah, that's see.
I can't even talk. I'm tired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny that you said that, because I used to work at Amazon years ago, and those hours were 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. 6 days a week, and it was only Monday or Tuesday you could have off. That was it. So, while I'm in there, I mean, just like you said, the mentality. I'm looking around, and it's like you don't have a life outside of here. We in this building, ain't no windows. You can't see. I'm going into work, it's dark. When I'm getting out of work, it's dark. You know what I mean? So it's like, every day as you going, it's like I can't focus on anything that I want to do in my personal life. There's no, like you said, there's no energy to invest in myself. There's no energy to invest in nobody else. I said, I gotta get out of here, because, and then too, you thinking about to yourself, but I can't leave because I got this bill to pay, or I can't leave because I can't do this. That was the best thing I've ever done, was got up out of there. Even though that fear was there, you know what I mean? That fear of, but you gotta trust in something higher to know that he's got something for you. You know what I mean? He's got something for you. And like you said, you got your own, your own company and everything, and just people can see that happiness too. You know what I mean? And that freedom. It's just like, I'm good, man. I'm
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's like, so now, my main focus is to work and build on the company, right? Mm-hmm. So even though I still gotta, bring money, income for I just have my wife and all that too, but she ain't playing that.
I know.
She's not there yet to the point where like I'm gonna hold you down.
I know.
She ain't there yet.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, man, give me 2 years.
I know.
So that's a certain type of mentality too as well. Mm-hmm. And like, so now when I am looking for a job, it's like I'm just looking for a nice chill job, cover the basic bills, and everything else. I'm gonna see how I can invest into the company. What equipment do I need next? Yep. Promotion, advertisement, marketing money, which takes a lot.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's where I'm at now. Just
right.
what you just talking about, that's where I'm at now. I'm like, the job I got, like my dad always told me, he said, all the jobs you work are just until jobs until you do what you want to actually do. You know what I mean? So that's what these jobs are. You know what I mean? So like you said, the job I got is chill. It's not putting so much wear and tear on my mental and everything to where I have time to where I can invest in me. You know what I mean? I can invest in my family and my kids and all that kind of stuff. And that's a different kind of peace, man, that you have when you know. And then too, you know, with your wife and everything, that y'all are working together
right
on it too. You know what I mean? And like you said, she ain't there. My wife ain't there yet. They're like, look, man, I ain't gonna be the one holding you down. Like, I'm here with you, but listen, you better pull your weight. You know what I'm saying? Now,
so yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like it's important, and we just need to see more. So me in Atlanta, my friends, my circle group is, you know, Black Millionaires is James Hill. He's one from Black Millionaires.
Okay, yeah. Yep, I seen him on Instagram.
Yep. So that's my homie. You see me on his page too. We scroll down.
Yeah, yep.
And he signed my shirt for me. It was cool.
Yeah.
Him, Rob, real estate, hot dog factory, and the Irish pub. Another brother. You know what I'm saying? And it's plenty more. My brother-in-law, he went from making $36,000 a month, you know what I'm saying, to saying, fuck it, I'm not just, he's working in the oil fields in North Dakota, oil cowboy. He's burning big checks and all that, but he realized all this money, I'm not even happy.
That's deep.
Like, yeah,
$36,000
a month average. You know what I'm saying? Like his check was like $8,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? And he was making the type of money. He came down to Atlanta. He said, "You know what, Ron? I died. You know, since I had this big, high-paying job, that I would feel fulfilled and happy." And he wasn't. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna get my own shit." So then he moved back down to Atlanta. He bought a trailer, a truck, all paid for, and you know, he started a moped business. It was like a tour business in Atlanta with mopeds. He wasn't feeling it. So he stopped that. So it's mopeds because he realized I wasn't happy with that part. So then he went to work. Actually got a job, making $15 an hour and stuff like that, which is a big difference.
Yeah, from $36,000 a month.
Yeah, and he was like, "Man, I can't be in this job. I need my own stuff again." So then he started back his own handyman company, and he realized he was making more money doing handyman than that. So he left that too as well because he still wasn't fulfilled. And now to the point he realized, you know what? I thought I need $1 million. I just need just enough to cover my bills, enjoy the time with my family. Then he started breaking down more stuff to me. And the more I talked to him, the more I realized, do I really need to be raunchy riches for real? Or do I just need to have that, you know, that freedom?
Yep.
So that's when ownership started to trickle on my heart, but I wasn't so afraid to take that leap.
Yeah.
Like I was afraid of podcasting because I thought what people opinions was gonna bother me mentally.
Yep. Me too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the mental battle with that, what you think? Especially what you get started with yours, with your podcasting. So what was your mental battles to start and take the leap?
Well, it's funny because I've always been a quiet person. I've always been a person just to myself. You know what I mean? But when people got to know me, they always would say, kind of interesting, man. Like you got, you got a little bit of knowledge. So, and I've always wanted to, growing up, I've always wanted to be on the radio. I always wanted to be doing something like that. You know what I mean? And when podcast came on, I started my podcast January this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started it, and going into it mentally, I had so many different nerves because I'm like, are people gonna like it? You know what I mean? Or are people gonna think it's stupid? You know what I mean? Or stuff like that. And I think that plays on everybody. But then it just got to the point where it was just a friend of mine. She said, she was like, well, you'll never know until you just start. You got to start. She always say, just press play. She always, that's her quote. She always said, just press play, and then you'll see where it goes. And I'm glad I did it. You know what I mean? Because, like you were saying earlier, the lens has changed for me with everything. You know what I mean? The opportunities of things have changed, and it started to show me the things I can do. You know what I mean? And then the confidence it builds. And I never thought I would meet Dennis Rodman. I never thought I would meet KRS-One or any of those people to be able to to sit and talk to and stuff like that. And
right
now, going into another year, or you know what I mean? Like just the different people that I've met and stuff like that. It's going into 2022 now. Is the lens is completely different. You know what I mean? And I'm ready to take off now, man, because there's a different freedom that it's given me, and this is something that I want to do.
So what's what did 2022 have in store for you? What's next? What's innovative for you?
2022 for me is going to bring a lot of joy, a lot of aggression on my part, because I can see now that my goals can be achieved. You know what I mean? And as long as I continue to move on them, God is gonna make it to where things are gonna happen for me. You know what I mean? Because in the 9 months that I've started this thing, it has shown me something totally different. I got some plans to have a podcast later on in the year. To have it's going to be like a big it's going to be like a panel of like 8 or 9 comedians that I'm gonna be able to sit with, and I'm gonna be able to converse with. You know what I mean? I got some. Hopefully I can get down to Atlanta. Me and you can collab on some more things, man.
Great stuff. You're like, I got some friends who are comedians in Dover right now, and in the area to meet. And with those connections, I met Coco Brown. Just different high caliber class of people. Atlanta, man, you can do anything you want. So anything you want, it's like when you go to Atlanta, it's like you like a box of toys, just pick which one you want to play with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely make it happen for sure. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. My favorite quote is from the Bible, and it is, "Man will suppress the truth to satisfy his sinful nature." So that quote for me is big for me because it always keeps me accountable for everything that I do. Because when it says man will suppress the truth, you may know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing is wrong, but he says you're going to suppress the truth to satisfy your sinful nature. So it's basically, I want to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? Just to fulfill this satisfaction that I want, even though it's bad. I'm gonna lie to you. I'm gonna lie. So that quote for me, just, I like that quote because it keeps me accountable for everything that I do. You know what I mean? So I can stay on the right path, because it's easy to fall off. What's your favorite quote?
Mine is very simple. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future, because they reconcile every day. How you live, how you walk, how you love, how you move. You know what I'm saying? Like once my circle of friends start getting married, that's when I start looking for a wife instead of, just a girl or whatever. When my friends started reading books, that's when I started like, man, let me pick up a book and start reading. And it's a whole different aspect. I feel like with that one quote, you can definitely change your life. So very simple, but very true.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. Hey, look, where can they find you on social media and stuff, man? I have all this stuff down in the comments, man.
So definitely, you can find me at Ron to Riches. So Ron, the number 2 Riches, on Instagram and Twitter, and also on Facebook. And also, you can follow my media company, Artistic Math Productions, and you can follow that on Instagram too as well. And you can book me for all your needs. So all your media needs, you can book me too as well. And I pick up the phone, or my partner picks up the phone for anything that you need. And you can also hit the book me or book now button in my bio on my personal Instagram page too as well. And my phone number is there, so you can text me, 843-480-5178. And I'm always open book to what all you need. And if you need also, talk about anything, mentorship, or need some guidance about anything in life, 'cause I'm 27, so I don't know about life yet, but I can help you get started. So that's where you can find me. And my YouTube page, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. I'm gonna say, where can they find you on YouTube, man?
YouTube, you can just search Ron to Riches as well, all one word, or you just type in Artistic Math Productions. You'll see my different episodes too as well, and also a short film that I shot in Dover, Delaware. So see that there.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on, man. My podcast, man. It was a blessing, man. Everybody, he's my boy, man. I appreciate you, man. So again, man, thank you again, man. Have a good one, everybody. Deep Conversations Podcast.
You're on YouTube, baby.